April the 4th, we came home from fundraising. I had 2 volunteers that had taken me to Jasper Kroger to fundraise. And on the way home it started lightning, but it didn't look really bad. We got home about 9 and pulled in to the driveway in front of the barn. Got out, went in, and went to the back and started feeding the horses hay over the fence. And then the girl who is expecting went up and fed one of the baby sheep, and her husband stayed at the back. And then the lights flickered 3 times, and I said, well, you know, I might ought to go get a flashlight. So I walked up front, almost got to these 2 tall poles standing, and a rod just went right down in front of me into the ground. And I grabbed hold of it, just looking at it like, what was it? And about that time the wind picked me up and I held onto the rod, and I was like a flagpole going this way, like a flag. And I got in my pocket and I pulled out my phone and I dialed 911, and the tornado came through and it just took it out of my hand. And then everything crumbled kind of in a sequence. Everything was gone. The roof was gone in a moment. It just nanoseconds, and it was just all gone. But then things started falling in, and I went to the ground, and I started crawling toward this side, and a timber fell on my foot. And I feel like, you know, God was just saying, okay, she's not going to listen. She's not going to stay put. She's going to crawl. Somebody put a timber on her foot. It didn't hurt me. It just held my shoe. I couldn't get my foot out of the shoe, and I couldn't move my shoe. And then, if I had crawled that much farther, I would have been crushed by all of this. And there was just one spot in there that was my body size, and that's where I was. And then, the moment I sat up, I looked around and I could see 2 donkey heads. And there were 61 animals and 3 people in that barn. And I looked up and I saw 2 donkey heads in the back. Every time it would lighten, that was all I could see. It was pouring down rain. There was no hail at the time, but it was just pouring down rain. And then when I sat up a little bit further, I realized my dog had been right by me. And I was like going, lady, where are you? You know, and she came up and licked me on the face. And anybody that knows Lady knows that it's really hard to get her to lick you. She's not a licky dog. But she was scared and trembling, and she was just licking. So then I stood up and finally got my foot out of the shoe, and I stood up, and it was just unbelievable what you could see when it was lightning. There was nothing left of the barn, which was a huge, beautiful barn. Then I was calling for Joycelyn and Chris, the 2 that were in there with me, and they didn't answer me. And I was just getting really scared, and all my animals. But when I was there, you know, as I was going to the ground even, all I was thinking about was, oh God, save the animals, you know, don't worry about me, just save the animals. And I was thinking about the Atlanta Passion Play, because it was coming up, and all the animals in the Atlanta Passion Play were in the barn. And I was just asking God to save them, just to save the animals. So we came out, and finally Joycelyn and Chris answered me. And they were already outside, standing by their car. And they had come over the rubble, and I had to go right under there. I had to go under it. And I'm too old to crawl over it. But they went over it and came out and got in their car. And I didn't have a phone, and they didn't have signal. We had to go up to the end of the driveway to get signal. And then I think reality hit on me that probably most of the animals were dead. And I started screaming that the animals were dead. All the animals were dead. And Joycelyn kept saying, I saw some alive. I know some are alive. And I said, no, they've all got to be alive. And it took the EMTs probably 45 minutes to get through here. We had got 1 EMT out first. And then it was a couple of hours later before the fire trucks could get through because of the damage downtown. And when the EMT got here, for 45 minutes during that time, all I screamed, they said, was, save the animals. Don't let the animals be dead. Don't let the animals be dead. Please let them be alive. Let them all be alive. And I did it over and over and over, and I need a miracle. I need a miracle. And that's all I said was, I need a miracle. Let all the animals be alive. And Joycelyn would say, no, some of them are alive. And I'd say, no, they've all got to be alive. And I was pounding my hand and holding my head, and I was like, they've all got to be alive. And the next day, by 12 o'clock, we had every animal out. It was amazing. The fire trucks came that night. They got a few out. They had people lifting up the rubble, getting animals out from under it. But it was 12 o'clock the next day before we got them all cut out. Everybody was alive, every single one. And it's not a miracle, it's more than a miracle. God saved these animals for a reason. We work with handicapped children. We work with the juveniles that have to do their community service. We go to the nursing homes. These animals are special. These are a core of animals that we keep all the time. We do have adoption too. But this group is a core that we keep to work with these special people. And it's amazing the therapy that it does for them. We do church plays and things like that. So it's just amazing. But God saved these animals. And since then, they've been in the Atlanta Passion Play. They're in the LJ Passion Play. They were in the Dawsonville Passion Play. Today, the little lamb is at a school, Mitzvah. And we'd gotten him a week before. His name is Mitzvah. It means God is watching over. It's where Laban and Jacob made a truce. And I think it was Gilead Mitzvah. And with Mitzvah meaning God is watching over, we chose Mitzvah. And so it's just very evident that God was in this. There's no way anybody could have gotten out alive. No way. It would have been a miracle just to have one or two people or one or two animals out alive, and they all came out. We had a few minor injuries. We had a little goat with a little horn partially off, and she's fine now. And we had a chicken with a hurt leg, and we had a pig that had a little gash over her head, and if she'll quit trying to get out and root out from where she's at, it's going to be fine. But it's good. It's healed very well. And then the boy, Chris, had a fractured wrist right here, and he's doing good now too. He's using his wrist, and to me, it's just more than a miracle that everything came out alive. And everybody's been so supportive. We've had Kusawati River Resort has been more than supportive. We've had people that are doing our website that have been more than supportive. We've had volunteers come out from all over. We've had them from New York City. We're going to have a foundation that's called New York Says Thank You Foundation that's going to help rebuild the barn. We've also got Noah's Wish came the second day. They were out here, and they built temporary paddocks and temporary places, shelters for the animals. So it's been such a blessing to see all the people that have come to help in a time when you don't know what you're going to do next. I thought I was okay. I thought I wasn't in shock. I thought I was just fine, but you are. When something like this happens, you know, I didn't have time to get scared. As I said, it's happened in nanoseconds. But after it's over, I find that I am afraid of storms and things like that. And I don't know why, because the one who calmed this storm for us is quite capable of calming any storm. So I'm good. But I just want to thank everybody that came to help. Thank you very much.